Hi again, this is Keshava, and this is the second part of Baba Stories. I wanted to tell two Baba stories that happened to people I know. I'll keep them very short. The first one happened to Vimala, and the story with her is very interesting. She was smoking cigarettes for 17 years and couldn't stop. And when she began learning meditation and taking initiation, she was continuing to smoke. And one day we had a group meditation here in Atlanta, and as we were sitting in meditation, Vimala began coughing. And I'm sitting here, I'm thinking to myself in my meditation, poor Vimala, you know, she's coughing, she can't concentrate, she's not being able to go deep into her meditation. I was feeling sorry for her. And afterwards, I talked to her and she said, you know, something happened to me in my meditation. She said, I was meditating and my meditation went very deep and I felt that I was with Baba and he was holding my hand and we were walking up a mountain. And near the top of the mountain, he turned to me and I looked at him and I began coughing. And I realized at that moment that this is something that I was going to have to stop doing. And we've been married, this happened in 1986, and this is 20 years ago. We've been married 20 years. And when that happened, she never smoked again, but she never had any desire for nicotine ever again. And so this is really a story of, you know, how we are all the same. There's nobody high or low. You know, someone we think who is a brand new initiate trying to practice meditation, here's reached the highest. That's story one, and that's really abbreviated, okay? Number two, I want to spend a little bit more time on. I joined an organization here in Atlanta called the Atlanta Vegetarian Society, mainly because I wanted to socialize with people who were being vegetarian. And I met a man and his wife there, Des and Sharon, and the reason he was in the Vegetarian Society was not for it was for health reasons. He had very, very high cholesterol, I think over 300, and it was really a desperate attempt to try to maintain his cholesterol level. And he was a likable guy. He was executive with Delta Airlines, and someone whom me and my wife began to socialize with. We would go out to dinner together. We had a social relationship. But I talked to him some about, you know, what I was into in yoga. And a yoga teacher came to Atlanta and actually stayed and spent the night with him and initiated him. And he drove him to the airport the next day. But I never considered him to be someone whom I could really pour my heart out to and tell him exactly what I wanted to. You know, it was very distant. I said, how can I explain? I don't know how. You know, I'm just going to be friends with this person because I like him. It's, you know, So he retired from Delta Airlines and moved to Orlando, Florida, and we went down to visit him one time, but then we lost contact for about a year and a half. And then one day he called me on the telephone, and I said, "Hi, Des. Wow, how you doing?" He said, Neil. He said, I saw Baba. And I was thinking, oh, he saw Dada, because Dada was the name of the yoga teacher, you know. I said, you saw Dada? He said, no, I saw Baba. And I never talked to him about Baba. It was just this much. And he said, yes. He said, I had a massive heart attack, and you know, I had quadruple bypass surgery. I'm okay now. I'm alive. But he said I had what they call it, you know, death experience when he was on the operating table because his heart had stopped, and so his mind rose. And he said, I felt that I was with Baba, and we were holding hands, and we were walking down And then, you know, he returned to his consciousness, and I said to myself, because you can imagine wanting to explain to people something about your guru, or something about yoga, something about society, something about morality, something about progressive movement, something about the future society. But you know, how can you do these things? You know, and the real pearl there, Baba. How can you explain that? You know, and so you kind of like, but then that happened. So that's an extreme Baba story, and for you who know what I'm talking about, you'll gain inspiration from it. And for those of you who do not know what I'm talking about, I'm just offering it to you to take it for what it's worth. Okay, that's it. So I'll try to do some more. I'm trying to do some more stories of me personally in part 3. Okay, so that's part 2. Bye bye. Namaskar.